In the next 6 minutes or less, I'm going to explain to you why coronavirus ruined your routines and what you can do to fix them. So how many of you had good habits and routines which seem to have just been thrown in a tailspin since the very first lockdown occurred? Maybe you had a good routine of catching up with loved ones, meditation, exercise, your eating habits, or even just taking breaks from work, and you're now struggling with one or all of these things. Naturally, our first reaction to fixing our routines and getting back on track is to work on adapting our routines to fit our new environment. Largely for a lot of people, that involves adapting what we're doing now to fit whilst we work remotely. Whilst this can work for some people, this video is to discuss why some people are really struggling with the change in their routines over the last couple of years. To help unpack this a little, I think the way to solve this problem is to take a step back and actually unpack why it is your old routines worked so well in your old environment. Take a few minutes to think about this. The thing I'm trying to get you to think about here is what actually kept you in a good routine. For a lot of people, it's the way in which your habits are built around your existing structures and routines. One of the biggest things that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to good or bad habits is actually when you break them down, what makes them work is actually very little to do with the habit itself. It's more about the trigger that starts off the routine and the reward that follows. Every good or bad habit that you have follows a pattern in the way that it works. In trying to understand that pattern, you have to be able to identify two things. Firstly, what starts the routine off? This could be a particular time of day, a certain person, or maybe a particular feeling or emotion. And secondly, what comes after the routine? There is typically some sort of reward which comes off the back of it. Take some time off the back of this video to think about your old routines and work out what the triggers were that started your habits off. This is often step one of unpacking what makes up a good routine. For the record, this doesn't just have to be physical routines. This applies the exact same to your mental thought process. If you struggled with separating and turning off from work, or find yourself in a spiral of negative thinking, use this exact same exercise to work on finding your triggers. There is always something that happens before the actual habit itself which starts the process of the routine. Once you've worked out what this is, and again, for example, this could be a particular time of day, a certain emotion, a person, a smell, or even something that you see, work on doing the same thing to discover what reward you are getting from this routine. Figuring out the rewards can often be a little bit more tricky, but for the good things that stick in your life, there is definitely some reward that's gained from either your body or your mind. Being able to identify these two elements will be an important step in understanding what drove your routines to start and what has made them stick around for so long. This process is what makes up your understanding of habit loops. Your habits don't happen in one step. They can actually be broken up into a few different steps, and working out what your triggers and rewards are often the most critical component of this. So now that you've started to think about what made your routines work before, how can you use that to help you now? Whether you consciously came up with a trigger and reward, or whether it happened subconsciously, is irrelevant. The important part is understanding that they always exist. If you want to start adapting and building new routines to fit into your working life, work out how to implement effective triggers and rewards that fit around your new lifestyle. These don't have to be the same triggers and rewards that were previously set up, but it can work to your favor if you can build them around a model which was already working quite well for you. Experiment with this process and work out what works well and what doesn't. Finding the routine that works well not just for you as a person, but your lifestyle is important and can be a phase of trial and error until working out the best combination that works for you at this particular time. When experimenting with triggers and rewards, ask yourself what you enjoy. The best type of routines are ones which are built in a way to complement things that you actually enjoy. If you want something to be a normal part of your day, find out what would make it exciting to do every day. Whether you're motivated by progress, money, or just networking with new people, find out how to incorporate these things into your routine to help keep you on track. So before you jump ahead and instantly start trying to make your current routines work in your new environment, Go through the exercises above to help understand why they worked. Use the notion of building effective triggers and rewards to help your chances of success with your new routines all that more likely. Where most people go wrong with their habits is they find effective routines unconsciously. Now that you know what you should be focusing on as part of your routines, it's easier to make this process a little bit more conscious should you need to tweak or build entirely new routines in the future. As always, I hope this video was insightful and I look forward to catching you in the next one.